All right. Hey everybody, welcome to 24 Slayton. I'm Tim, and I have
Hi, my name is Jana.
Zena. How you doing?
Good, I'm so
Yeah.
well. Thank you for having me.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you.
I'm glad for you coming to help me out here.
Yeah, we help each other.
Yes, for sure.
That's what life is about.
Yeah. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, let's jump right in. So I was born and raised in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and my dad, they separately migrated to Germany. My mom was Serbian, my dad was Hungarian. And they, left to Germany, Berlin, and they met each other, and then they created life. And my mom was a hospitality, so she worked at a hotel for a very long time, and she was the head of a housekeeping team, and my dad was a chef. So, I was growing up in Berlin, Germany. I gathered all my education there. I lived for a moment in Switzerland too, which was, amazing to live there. And and at one point I was called to go and see the big world. And I came here along with, traveling other places before I actually made my stop in America.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, but hospitality has been always really within my blood. I basically was born into it. If I wasn't really at the hotel, I was at the restaurant with my dad or at my mom. And, it's just always something so fascinating about the industry itself. Not only are you always interacting with people and you always have to be, in a sense, on full alert, just to be really ready, but you somehow also just get to really, get to learn about so many cultures that you work with, so many different foods, so many different preparations, really high-end, service executions, and it's just really, it's fancy at the same time, but it's also so humbling at the same time, because you are at the end a servant to somebody if you are in this industry, and I feel like a lot of people really have a big problem with that, just being like a servant to somebody, but really when you choose to be in hospitality, that's really what you become, like you are there to serve somebody else.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't respect that industry.
You have a difficulty with, with direction, with order, because in hospitality, everything has a reason and everything has a rule. And a lot of times people are not really into the whole, I have to do it this way because this way it's so much easier. But there are ways and executions where we're doing specific things in hospitality for a specific reason. Like everything has its meaning.
Yes, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So how'd you get started? Like, I know you said that your family, but how did you become that?
Yeah, so it was really a long journey in all honesty, because I can't even tell you how many jobs I had in hospitality, from restaurants to hotels to casinos to really high-end bars, lounges, clubs even. And at one point I was really asking myself, why do I constantly change jobs? Like, what is it really about me
Mm-hmm.
that I seem to be not able or willing to stay at one spot for a very long time? And, now obviously looking at it is because it was all meant to be for this that I'm doing on my own right now. Like all the experiences I've ever gathered in any hotel I worked in. And I worked in really beautiful hotels, like mainly 5-star, and really, really fantastic restaurants too. And really now the reason was that it was this, I needed to interact with so many different types of management, different types of cultures, different types of people, co-workers, foods, things that went wrong to really discover my own craft.
Yeah, so did you work in all facets, like all of them? There's different ones. There's food,
Mm-hmm.
front desk,
Mm-hmm.
the serving,
Mm-hmm.
at serving food, the whole setup, everything?
Yes. So I've basically been in a lot of positions. So I've been in front of the desk. I did reception. I did, catering. I did serving. I did housekeeping. I did, management, floor manager, general manager, restaurant manager. Like I've done all of those things. Marketing, sales. Yes, basically I've done it all, but really my strong point was always more in really being on the floor, really interacting with people, mainly with difficult people. In all honesty, like that's actually my fave.
Yes.
To really be thrown into a situation where a situation seems to be really tricky or, challenging. Because in my opinion, I really do have that specific thing with people where I can easily come in and evaluate the problem quickly and find super fast a good solution that will just leave the guest with like, okay, I didn't like this part, but this is the end of it and I'm good with that.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, mainly I've done basically all of the positions that you can possibly have. I mean, I was a dishwasher at one point too. I did basically everything because I've seen stuff from my parents too. Like my mom was the leader of a housekeeping team, so my dad was in the kitchen. He was a chef, so I've done pretty much everything.
Okay. So what did you learn about, like, what was the best part about, like, what one did you like the most, other than, like, I know you like to be, like, thrown into dealing with the hard people.
Sure. I feel like for me, it was definitely sales.
Sales?
Like just really understanding how sales works on the floor. Rather than as you selling hotel rooms to guests over the phone, or, you're selling wine at the table, or you upselling food, or you talking about food, or you like, it's all sales, really. Like if you understand your product and you understand how to market your product in that moment, whatever your position is, you're good. Like it's all about really revenue and driving sales, but also, understanding people, really understanding that you do want to go the extra mile, not just take an order as an order taker, but really make the guests comfortable in your space, because fundamentally they're in your living room now, right? Like they're in your home, in a sense, the home that you work at. And it's really imperative for them to feel like they're welcome there and they're acknowledged and they are being taken care of. So at the beginning it was sales, and then it turned into teaching. It turned, like, I always found myself in positions, not only in positions, but like I always found myself in situations where I'm actually teaching somebody about what's currently happening on the floor. And it just comes so natural to me that I wasn't even hired, in a sense, to do so. But because I'm naturally a leader and naturally really gravitating, wanting to make things amazing for the guest, I just gravitated to, hey, you know what, maybe you should consider doing it this way. And it always helped. I mean, I did had other interactions, of course, too, in my career with managers and owners where it wasn't so pleasant, just because you're the new girl. Why are you thinking you need to voice your opinion here? But in the end, I knew why now it was that way, just because my own business is exactly about that. So sales and training is really, to answer your question, my main thing where I'm like, this is me.
So now you have like a network now, or how does your business work? Like, tell us about it.
So my business mainly works word of mouth.
Yes.
That's how I prefer it. I mean, I do have obviously social media set up, and I'm on all social media channels and stuff. And of course I have a website too. But
it'll be in the comments in the bottom.
Okay. But mainly my business works on word of mouth. Like I come in somewhere to a restaurant or a hotel, a casino, a resort. It could be even a food truck, like anything that is really guest related and food related. And we'll just do some cleanup, basically. I evaluate your team. I can quickly really see what's going on without really hearing the team out or talking to the owner or manager. And then we just create a package. We just create really a thing that really works for you. And most of the restaurants, most of the hotels, they already have a set base. Mm-hmm. So at that point, it's really just evaluating the team itself and their weaknesses and their strength, and really just creating a new plan for them. Creating a real new plan of how they really understand of what real true hospitality is and how to execute that in their movements on the floor. That's the first thing. And then obviously how to make money,
yes,
for themselves as a waiter, and also for the person that they work for. So that's really important, because everything I teach, my goal was always for people, when they learn what I'm teaching, I want them to take that wherever they go. It's not just stuck to one place, because what I'm teaching is universal knowledge. So you can take that and you can go to Europe and be a waiter, or you can go, I don't know, in a fancy restaurant or like a nice hotel, and you will understand the basics of hospitality, because I'll teach you them.
So you help out the event individuals and the main client, or is it just individuals helping out, or how does that work?
So when I say individuals, I'm talking about the team that works for an owner, right? So, but yes, individuality is always there, just because some people are more driven wanting to learn. So if they're willing to learn, I'm willing to teach. But when I say individuals, it's more catered to the team of the specific person that hires me, right? So if it's a restaurant and he has a team of 50 people, we'll focus on the hostesses, we'll focus on the busboys, the servers, the food runners, the managers, like everybody that is really involved in creating a successful day will be getting taught individually. Like the servers will be getting server teachings and trainings, and the busboys and the food runners and the bartenders, that's all separate. But there is an overall lookup where we all are together. Like we all need to understand what real true hospitality is and why we're actually doing what we're doing and how we can all make more money doing what we're doing too.
Okay, so yeah, so I kind of get it now. So how did you come up with this idea, or how did you come up with the business plan to?
So that's so interesting because really the idea was born within my entire career inside of me. And it was actually born out of frustration, in all honesty, just because, I was so tired and so bummed out that everything that I felt like I brought to somebody else's business would just not be acknowledged enough or not valued enough. And a lot of times when I would leave a place, that's when they would actually take my ideas that I said while I was working there and then they implemented them versus, just implementing them while I was there, and we could have all worked together and built a stronger team. And so that happened to me a few times, in my career. And at one point I was like, you know what, this is for the birds, because like I know what I'm talking about and I love what I do. And I'm already doing what I'm doing for other people, building their dream. I'm just going to build my own.
Yes.
I'm just going to go out there and build my own dream of, you can hire me. I can absolutely come in. I can change your life. I can change your team's life. And let's do this money together versus you hire me for a regular position and I'm not even being valued or acknowledged for what I really changed, either in your revenue or amongst your team members or amongst, your atmosphere or your online reviews or all of that stuff, because all of it matters. Every single little detail does matter.
Yes.
And if I point out that your lighting sucks in your restaurant,
Yeah.
That matters because guests want to feel warm and cozy when they enter. If I point out that your music is too loud, because guests want to have a good time. If I'm on a date with somebody, I want to enjoy that person.
Yes.
Or if I'm with my kid, I don't want to be screaming at my kid because the music is so loud. So it's little small details that do matter. The smell of the restaurant when you enter, how are the bathrooms, like how's the lighting, how's the glasses, are they nice and polished, like how's your silverware, how are your roll-ups, are they really nice and tight? Is it cheap napkins? If they are cheap, okay, let's roll them in a different way so it doesn't look cheap.
Yes.
Like there's all ways of really presenting stuff that people look at, like there's a saying that you not only eat with your mouth, but you also eat with your eyes.
Yes.
So it's really important to have all those small details kind of like in place. And then when we talk about staff, there's a whole nother aspect of it. Are your uniforms all unified?
Yes.
Do we have name tags? Do we don't? If we don't, okay, how do we introduce ourselves? Like, do we have aprons? Do we have tools? Do we all have the same tools? How do we talk to guests? Is it a hey, what's up? Is it hello and welcome? Is it, what kind of atmosphere are you building? Are you a sports bar? Cool, hey, what's up? Are you a nice fine dining restaurant? Hello and welcome. Like, it's the lingo of hospitality that really does make a difference. And I feel like it's also allowing people to be who they were created to be. Do you get me? Like back in the
Yes.
days, they would say, okay, and I don't want to name names, but like really, really, really high-end hotels, they would say you cannot have any tattoos
Yes.
working here. Today, luckily, all of that changed because, listen, if I'm expressing myself with a cool tattoo
Yeah.
and I give you the best service and I give you my full attention as a waiter in the time you're dining with me, why does it matter if I have a tattoo or not? It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't, none of that should matter. What should matter is the craft that I'm bringing to you as a waiter, as a manager, as a host, as a podcast host, as anything that you're choosing to be. It's like, really, how do I make you feel when you're in my space?
Nice. Yeah, I have there's when I go to a restaurant or I go to somewhere and people, I don't know, it's like, I guess it's the, nowadays everybody says boss and I hate that word.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that word because they use
Yeah.
it every other word.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't feel cool.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not respectful.
I agree.
Yes.
I very much agree. I feel like that may be a word that an owner could maybe use with you once you are coming to the place. Let's just say you come to
Not even
restaurant
then.
X and you kind of like cool with the owner,
Yeah.
you know, like maybe owner to, I don't know, I could be seeing that more being fitting than just a waiter or just somebody that literally just serves you
Yes.
one time. You know, I feel like there's a respect level of everybody that we're, you know, interacting with, and there should be a universal of approaching guests. Also when we have problems with guests, you know, like problem resolution, how do we really resolve conflict with really difficult guests? So sometimes they can fall off the handle. Like, it's no joke. Like, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've been in situations where
Yes.
people are like, dang,
Yeah.
are you serious right now?
Yeah, I travel.
You
I've been
know?
traveling a lot with my job, and I travel a lot, and I see a lot of people
Yeah.
unhappy, or you know,
Yeah.
they try and they just get mad. I'm like, there's no reason to get. I mean,
Yeah.
we can only get so mad, but
Yeah, but there's still ways of handling
Yes, yeah, you
those
do.
kind of
Yeah.
situations, especially if you choose to be in an industry like hospitality. You gotta understand that fundamentally, and I know this kind of sucks what I'm about to say, but no matter how really somebody's treating you, you have to understand that you always have to be willing to remain a respect level regardless of how you're being treated, just because the industry of hospitality is, you're serving and you there to really execute a service to somebody,
yes,
right? And of course there's right and wrong, but this is where our managers would jump in. You know, this is where our upper managements, our leaders would jump in and really help us out in those situations. But you should not be arguing with a guest, never.
Yes.
In my opinion. Like, it's okay, I can see you're very upset, I'm so sorry, I'm going to remove myself from this conversation, and I will bring my manager out to you, and that should be the end of it. You know, professional, whatever. Like, you got to be really rooted in yourself though, to
Yes.
really take disrespect like that too, you know. Like, it's not an easy thing, but you got to know still who you are, regardless of who calls you what or who raises your voice against you. Yeah, okay, I guess you have a bad day, I'm gonna pray for you.
yeah,
You know?
that's kind of it, and yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. Yes, so
Mm-hmm.
what are like, so as you're in the hospitality game, what else do you do other than, well, you told us what you do, but like, what's going forward or more like helping out? Is it just hotels and restaurants, or is it more than that?
Yeah, it's actually more than that. So it's really, I really am welcoming expansions of, you know, anybody that really has a team where we are interacting with either guests or clients or customers, like anything client, customer, guest related, could really use my help, in all honesty. You know, like, it's, sometimes you go to a candle store and the candle store person just doesn't know the candles, and it's important to be like, you know, I know the smell, I know this, I know that, I know the product well. So it's really important to train our staff. Like, training staff in general is really the water I would like to swim in general. Like, it's motivational training, it could be mental training, could be actual physical training where we, you know, doing role plays and we're executing things of really showing you. Because I feel like that's really tough, you know, when I would manage restaurants or people here and I would ask them, have you ever done proper wine service? They would tell me, no. And so, you know, you need to understand how do you really do that, but nobody shows you. So it's not their fault. It's, you know, we just need somebody to really come in and be like, look, I'm gonna show you that this is how it's really properly done. Because if you order a $500 wine, I mean, can I have the wine decanted, please? Can I have the proper glasses? Can I have a proper moment for the wine to sit and, you know, breathe so I can really enjoy this $50 glass of wine? You know, and same with cognac. Like, how do you serve properly cognac? How do you serve really proper latte macchiatos? Like, it's the whole setup, you know, in many industries, not just in hospitality.
Yeah. So what does the average management need from you when they hire you?
What they need from me?
Yes.
Well, they don't really need anything in a sense where, I mean, what do you mean by the question? I'm so sorry. What they need from me?
Okay, when the management, not what they need, but what do they get when they hire you?
Oh, what they get out of it?
Yes.
Okay. So what they will get definitely out of it is their revenue will be doubled.
Mm-hmm.
Comfortably, I want to say doubled. Yes.
Okay.
So it's going to be more revenue. We're going to achieve more revenue. just because we need to make sure that your people understand how we sell on the floor, right?
Yes.
And so a lot of people really don't know. So that's going to be changing. And then what's also going to be changing are your online reviews. Because now when we come in and we help you out, your servers that did not know how to handle difficult situations, now they will. Servers that did not know how to get out of themselves because they're a little bit more shyer, they will learn how to be a little bit more, like, hey,
Yes.
how are you? And kind of like more interactive and more just making your people feel a little bit more welcome and, hugged in a sense. And, and your people, I hope for you, I hope that with every team that I'm touching base on, they're happy to stay. Because my goal is really, if we do enough PR for the people to come in and our waiters have enough guests to work on and they make enough tips, why do they need to leave your space? If you as an owner are respectful and you're encouraging and you pay your people on time and you're being, attentive to them, to their needs of what they need on the floor, why would they leave you? There's no need for people to leave. There's no need to jump left and right because I'm happy here. I'll make money. You treat me well. I treat you well. My team is cool. Like, we don't need to go anywhere. So that's kind of like the goal. But making more revenue and really teaching your staff of really proper European.
And this
guest
translates
service.
this translates like worldwide, right? Everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I train the way I learned. I'm obviously from Germany. I have all my knowledge from Germany and Switzerland. So I'm not saying we're the very best and no country does it better. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. But I am saying that service industry in Europe is a little bit more different, and I am teaching the European way just because I am European.
Yes.
I don't know any other way. I mean, that's my root. That's my DNA. So I will be teaching it with an influence of a Hungarian father, a Serbian mother, but born and raised with a German mentality. So I feel like you get everything
So
from three different cultures.
So what's the big difference from European and American?
Big difference. You guys are definitely better at entertainment. I'm going to say that right away. Americans really got entertainment part down, for sure. But I feel like a big difference is really the structure of when you enter a job. It's structurally different than in Europe. So here you enter a job and you get maybe a 2-week training and then you're in the job, right?
Yes.
Majority time. In Europe, it's not like that. In Europe, you literally have to go to school for a specific amount of time. You have to get a degree for that specific job, and then you're only allowed to actually work in the job and execute the job, right? And
Yes.
okay, I've been living in America since a very long time, so I do not know exactly how it's today in
Yeah.
Europe. How would that be? But in general, I feel like that's a big difference. That really, in Europe, I've learned everything about this job. Like if a guest would stop me on the floor and they would ask me, where is this or where is that? We would be trained to never say, I don't know or no. We would be trained to be like, okay, I'll find out the answer. Even if I don't know, I'll get the answer to you. And
Yes.
actually, matter of fact, I do know the answer because I just learned it in school.
Yes.
So, and here I feel like you learn the majority job duty that you need to perform, but beyond that, if you're eager to learn, you learn because you're going to ask questions. You're going to have amazing people that may be willing to share that knowledge with you. But if not, then you're stuck with the job duty knowledge, and then that's it.
Yes.
So that's one of the big difference to me.
Okay. Do you provide strategies on how to open a restaurant?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We can do, if you've never had a restaurant prior, if you never had, or if you never run a restaurant, if you never had a restaurant, if you never owned a restaurant or a hotel, absolutely. We can sit down, we can get you started on where you need to really start. Like, who do you hire? That's a big problem too, because if you're a restaurant owner or you're a hotel owner or you take over or you invest in a hotel, you think everything is running, but like, how do you really know who to hire if you're not from the industry, for instance, right?
Yes.
Like if you never owned a restaurant, you have no idea about wine. How do you interview somebody that's going to sell wine for you? How
Yeah.
do you do that? So yeah, absolutely. I help with that. Yeah, and it's actually one of my favorite things to do too, just to have the interviews done and really fill you out, because I feel like there's a difference between you presenting to me a resume or you looking in my face and talking to me about your knowledge, you
Yes.
know, because my questions to you, they're not on your resume.
Yeah.
Your resume is beautiful, but I'm gonna hit you with the questions that I need that I know you need to know. If you know, you know, and if you don't, we're gonna be to a moment.
Yes.
You know.
No, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like me right now. No, I'm just playing.
No, this is pretty cool. I really enjoyed it so far. But I feel like I'm the only one talking. Maybe we should
No,
switch it up.
that's fine. This is pretty much about what you're doing, and
Okay.
everybody's learning about your business and what
Okay.
you do and how you can help them
Mm-hmm.
become a better person or better people or better management team or
Yeah.
just more successful in
Yeah.
what they do.
Yeah, I feel
You know?
like all in general, it really ties also into really being, understanding about your own body. You know, as an owner, as a staff member of any kind of team, like you need to really allow yourself to have that downtime too, and really hone in on your own self.
Yes.
You know, like if you always keep hustling and you go and you go and you go and you go and you don't take breaks, like it's difficult, you know. So this is about business, absolutely, but it's also about us being human. You know, like I can tell if somebody in your team has a problem, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, suck it out. No, it's going to be like, okay, let's get business done first, and then we'll go and, you know, have an iced tea and we'll talk. Like, you know, tell me what's up. Because in hospitality, we need to understand we're so much more than just somebody that is there. You know, we're sometimes we're a mom, sometimes we're a dad. You know, we're a psychologist, we're a brother, we're a sister, we're a friend.
Yes.
We're a boss, you know,
Yes.
like we're so many things, and we need to allow our human part of us to always be bigger than anything that we're after. You know, like first comes human, you know, like that's first. You know?
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Like
So
if I feel, for instance, you're on my team and you come to work and I'm your manager and I feel that you're off, I rather want you to be like, you know what, I don't feel because whatever. Your mom just died, your pet just died, you really have problems at home, whatever it might be. I'd rather be like, you know what, can you give me 2 hours full blown, you know, on the floor and then you go? Or can you not make it? Because if you're mentally not there, then go home rather, instead of, you know, because it's really all about our personal lives too. And luckily we came to this point where we all have choices, you
Yes.
know, like staff has choices, owners have choices, guests have choices. Like we don't have to.
yes.
We don't have to go to this restaurant. We don't have to work for this person. We don't have to take anything that we're not okay with anymore.
Yeah, 'cause I guess I work in that kind of industry, but I don't. 'Cause
Yeah.
I do different shows and I interact with people. So
Yeah.
you have to just be a little different when you're there and you have
Yeah.
to listen to them talk and
Yeah.
not really, not this isn't my job.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
but when I'm on the road and doing stuff, you meet a lot of different people and different personalities and you try and do your best to talk to different people and just
Mhm.
make yourself available, I guess,
Yeah.
for their questions and answers.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
on your days when you aren't doing the best or you're not.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't interfere with your own personal balance, I feel like that's okay, you know. But
Yeah.
a lot of times we were so trained to just go, 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 and we got to get this and we got to get that, and we really forget that we need to allow ourselves to stay in balance. So if my body tells me or my mind tells me I'm so tired, I cannot for this moment, then it's okay to respectfully also decline an offer. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yes.
the balance inside of your mind knowing, or inside of your body, like I don't have to take any disrespect. I don't have to take anything that really doesn't make me feel good just because I need this. Actually,
Yes.
it's actually the opposite. Because I need it, I can say no thank you to that because it would not,
Yes.
suit me, or it would not do me well in a sense. So that internal and that external, it does matter, because fundamentally we attract what we're going through. So if you all messed up inside of you,
Yeah.
you're going to attract that in your business, in your personal life, in your family life, you're going to attract that because you all rattled, you all feathered up.
Yes.
But if you're cool inside of you, at least you're learning, you're willing to take those 5-10 minutes per day and just really stay with you. You'll feel the difference,
Yeah.
people are approaching you differently. You approach people differently.
Yes.
Like it's just a whole energetic vibe inside of you too.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So in this economy, like now, what would be the best hotel? What kind of hotel? Yeah, and this, like, what would be the best hotel or restaurant to open up in this economy? Probably restaurant.
I mean, in my opinion, it really does not matter if it's fine dining, fast food, or any of those kind of things. What really just matters is location always matters.
Hmm.
You know, like a good location really does always matter. And the finances, you know, if your finances really are in alignment, it always makes sense. But if you are really just so badly wanting to do this, but here you are, you know, trying to get your money together for your mortgage, maybe you should hold off, you know. But there's not a specific thing not to do, in my opinion, if your heart tells you to do it. Like if your heart tells you to do it and you know you can, to me, everything else will fall into place.
So how about like in the food truck industry and those kind of people?
That's fantastic. That's always good.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
how does that, like, how can you help those people also?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I can help with concept. You know, if your dream is to have a food truck, but you don't know the concept, we can sit down, we can create a concept. We can sit down, we can create a menu. We can sit down, create dishes together. Hopefully you have those already. I mean,
Yes.
if you, if
I have
your
a
goal is
buddy.
to have a food truck, you
Yeah.
should be down for food already.
Yeah, I have a
Um,
buddy who well, he didn't just, he had it for since, like, I think before the pandemic.
Uh-huh.
He opened up a pizza place.
Oh, cool.
Wood-fired pizza. He was on here also, and he's doing really good. He drives out and he does private catering. Then he has a spot where he sets up,
Exactly.
and he's doing pretty good.
And that's so
he just did
convenient.
downtown for New Year's. He was down there.
And that's so convenient, you know, with those portable businesses in a
Yes.
sense, because you can offer yourself for anything, for a wedding, for a bar mitzvah, for
Yeah, he does a lot of
I mean,
weddings.
you can do so many
Yes.
things, you know. But also, you can just go to flea markets, you know. You can go to events. You
Yes.
can, you know, like you can park yourself, or you can just be the cool dude with your food truck down the street, and everybody come and eat with
Yes.
you. You know,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna go to whoever for lunch. We'll just walk down the street.
Yes, yeah,
You know, like that's so cool about that stuff. And really, maintenance wise, it's most likely
yes,
so much more cheaper than really having an actual restaurant.
yes,
But then it also depends on your dream inside. You
Yeah.
get me? If your dream was really like, I'm gonna open my door
Yes.
to my restaurant, my name is on the thing, you know,
Yeah.
like it depends what your dream really is inside of you. You know, like you should follow that. My thing is also just, what is your dream? If you don't have a dream yet, you don't have a concept, I can help with that too, but I cannot create a dream inside of you that it's not already kind of there.
Yeah.
You know, like I can help make that fire bigger,
yeah,
you know, but if there's nothing within you, it's kind of difficult for me to come in and be like, hey, what do you want to do with your life?
yeah, yeah.
You know,
So do you help with licenses and permits, or can you help with license? Or
I can. I definitely have great contacts that we will definitely, you know, share. But it's not my cup of tea. It's not my fave. I'm the girl that's going to make money through trainings, teaching your people. I'm the girl that's going to reinvent your whole place. If you feel like you need a makeover and, you know, looking at your menu, your staff or whatever, that's the girl that I am. Definitely revenue and training is more what I'm 100% focused on. But for everything that people need, opening a restaurant, rebuilding, restarting, you know, I have wonderful contacts for all of it. Licensing, insurance, especially insurance for restaurant, hotels. Like I have amazing contacts that I worked with personally, that I know are reliable, and that I'm confident to refer.
okay, cool. So I know, like, what I'm listening to. It's kind of like the show, Restaurant not in Restaurant Impossible. Yeah, Restaurant Impossible.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same thing, but you don't yell at people.
No, I don't do that. The yelling, yeah, I'm good on that. But I will, in all honesty, I will voice my opinion. So I'm very confident in my knowledge, and if I need to say something, I'll say it. You know, like, I mean, I'm always, of course, wanting to be very respectful in my delivery. But if I have something to say, I'm safe.
Yeah. So when you go do the you go and talk to the staff and you talk to the managers and talk to them, you're hired by the owner, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then when you talk to some of them, how do they absorb it? Do some of them not like it? Do you tell them to get rid of them, or they need to go, or they're trying or change? Like, how does that work?
So it's a little bit of everything. So usually, I can be hired by owners, investors, managers, people that really are willing and ready to make that move on bringing me on board, right? And it's kind of of course, nobody really wants to hear where they mess up or where they suck. And I'm not really after that. I'm going more by facts. You know, like if I come in your space, I'm going to do an evaluation. If you offer breakfast, lunch, dinner, I will sit through all of those. I will sit in your breakfast, I will sit in your lunch, I will have your dinner, I will be observing your people, and I will tell you what I see, right? And then I will also combine that with what's happening on your floor. Where are your service stations? Do you have enough glasses? Do you have enough trays? Do your people use their tools? Are they saving by memory? Are they writing down? Are they talking? Are they not? Do they have knowledge about allergies? I'm gonna throw some wrenches in there. You know, I'm allergic against it. Can I have this on the menu? Those are all important things, right? And so once we have that evaluation done, we go further in creating a package or a training that really works for you. If I feel like your people need training and upselling, then we'll do a training and upselling. It's not necessarily that you need the whole thing, but I will point out what's really needed. And yes, sometimes people, a lot of times what I used to hear is, if I have a manager, why do I need to hire you? So a lot of times what I heard. You need to hire me because number one, your manager's not doing what they're supposed to do, because otherwise I wouldn't sit here. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, if you have a manager that you claim does what you don't want me to do, or what I'm pointing out, what should be done, what about your online reviews? I don't write all of that. And granted, from like 100 online reviews, there's maybe 20, 25 that just say, you know, all this and that, and this sucked, and it's just to get free meals. Like, we know all about those people, but what about the other part? You know, like from 100 reviews, if you know, some really are bad ones, or like a lot, they cannot all be lying. You know, they cannot all be telling stories. So, you know, when we come with facts, or when they allow me to really talk revenue, talk money, and I see, you know, what did you make last year compared to this year? That's not me. That's fact.
Yeah.
So if you want to change that, I'm happy to help, you know, but I don't need to, it's not going to be any benefiting to me or the person that if they strictly really so believe that they don't need any help and I'm trying to help. It's just a non-match, you know, like if you want things to be different, you gotta want to help yourself first too. So usually they really call me because they do want changes. You know, it's very rare where I'm like, oh, you know, it's more like, you know, I'm ready to make this, and can you help me? Or, you know, where can you come in?
Yeah, for sure. I understand that. Okay. And so what's the vision for your company growing, or coming up? What's your vision of?
My vision is honestly to just be cool, to travel, take my son with me, you know, go to different places, really check out amazing things in this world, and just really work with people, you know, like really help people to understand that when people come in their restaurant or their hotel or Airbnb or whatever it might be, that you have a privilege really of working with them, you know, like, because we all go through life, right? And if you can be that one waiter or that one host or the one receptionist, that really just makes that person smile for that moment or that day, that's amazing, you know, like it's that those things we take also for granted, but really it's amazing, you know, if you really have an interaction with somebody and it's so natural and so organic that the person is just like, man, that person was nice, you know, like this was cool, and you just walk away with that, you know. And that's kind of like the goal, to just really have all the guests anywhere that go to hospitality industries, that they just feel like, man, this is so nice, I want to come back here.
So you also work with, I just heard that, you work with Airbnbs also. So how do you help Airbnbs? Like, is it from because, let me see, the Airbnbs, they're by agency, right? Well, that's kind of, you go to the Airbnb, but the person, you don't have like a management company? Or say like if you do that, do you use a management company or?
So it depends. I mean, you know, when we talked about branching out, I would love to work with hospitality management companies that either manage Airbnbs or manage bigger industries where I'm the training part. But for instance, Airbnb, it's like, you know, how do you set up your home? You know, like, how is it really to a hotel-like room or apartment or house that is really like hotel, driven,
Yes.
but yet the guest is on his own coming in. Do you have like a nice bottle of wine ready? Do you know anything about the guest that is entering today? Like, like personalize the experience for the guest that you're receiving in your home. And it could be, like I said, Airbnb, it could be a hotel, it could be really anything. You really want to go the extra mile and understand who is entering your house, regardless if it's your own personal house where the deed is in your name,
Yeah.
or it's the house that you work for, right? Like personalizing guest service is really what people are after. Everybody loves it. Like think about your own self. If you would enter a restaurant, they've never seen you. All they know is you made a reservation, and now the girl that you've never seen in your life, or the host, or the man, whoever is approaching you, says your full name. Hello, Mister. Da 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 da. Wouldn't that feel good? Like,
Yes.
but how does that get there?
Yeah.
It gets there because I help train people to understand those details.
Yes.
Like how do you can really make everybody feel so personally welcomed. And that's, when I would work with bigger management companies, is really what I'm trying to convey in those trainings too, is really the personalized service of, people that we are serving. And it could be with franchises too, like franchise companies,
Yeah.
companies that are franchising. But if we all have the same approach in every location, you're going to have more, how do you say that, more positive feedback, because everywhere you go it's the same.
Yes.
Like everywhere you go it's the very same. If I enter in this state, it's the same. If I go to this state, it's the same. If I go in the smallest little town, but it's with this company, with the
Yes.
umbrella of this company, I'm getting that service.
Kind of like In and Out. It's always the same everywhere you go.
Exactly, like consistency.
Yes, and they train people. They bring people from the original place to go help
Correct.
build that place until they're
Set in stone.
till they know how it's done. Okay.
And so that's kind of how I see my own business.
Okay.
Like we go from place to place until it's set, but they all going to have that little genre
Yes.
touch.
And they all know how they do it exactly all the same. So if it's franchise, everybody will do it.
The very same, exactly. And the reason why I think it's so important is because we are after wanting to make people feel that they're really appreciated and welcome in our space, regardless of what space it is. And at this point, I don't care if it's $10 per night or $10,000 per night.
Yes.
There's no difference for me. There's no difference in fine dining on a white tablecloth or I'm sitting on a nice bench outdoors. To me, the service I'm receiving, what I'm paying for, is really what I would like to receive, not the amount that I'm paying for, but the actual service that I'm paying for,
So on a like franchise kind of thing, or they have more than one restaurant, do you go to each restaurant? Well, I mean, there's probably some that have lots of, but
Yeah.
or do you do one restaurant and then they model it everyone? How does that work?
So that's kind of a little bit up to them, just because I don't sit on their,
Yes.
I don't sit on their decision-making board.
Yeah.
But I feel like the best way is literally to be in an agreement with the upper heads that have the majority of say-sos.
Yes.
And once we are in an agreement with that, yes, go to one restaurant, go to one space, go to one franchise, get it fixed exactly the way we want it, with everything. Job duty lists, uniforms, execution, how do we go by everything? How do we open? How do we close? How do we run specific things? And then take that and just, repeat at all the other locations the same way. And that's, I feel like, how you create consistency too.
Okay, I kind of got it. It makes sense to me. I hope it makes sense to you guys. But yeah, we're doing good here. Let me see. How many more questions do I have here? Do you help? Okay, so what do you think about pop-ups? Do you help up with pop-ups, or do you against pop-ups, or? Like,
No, I think pop-ups are cool. I
Yeah.
feel like that's really a good way of showing your creativity,
Yes.
And it's good for you to get familiarized, like it's good for you for your own self-confidence,
Yeah.
like being in public eyes and just really doing it. So yeah, absolutely, I'm down for all of that. Everything that has to do with you expressing your own self and presenting, your talent in your craft and your art, in a sense, whatever art that might be, all for it.
Okay, that's good. I guess. Yeah, I learned a lot, and I hope everybody else learned a lot today. And it was great having you here.
Same. Thank
And
you so
yeah,
much.
next time we'll come back again. We'll talk again and see how we'll keep going up your ladder with you
Done and
and
done.
make it work. Okay.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thanks a lot for
Bye.
coming out. And it was great.
Thank
You
you.
know. Okay. So come and look for her. I'll leave some show notes on the bottom for her so you can guys see where to get a hold of her if you guys need to talk to her about anything. I'm Tim. This is
Zena.
Zena. Okay. Thanks a lot. Greg, thanks for bringing. Bye.